Once again all of you to the online class of biology. So today I'm going to continue the same chapter, that is biomolecules, and we have studied about various portions like amino acids, proteins, isn't it? Then we have studied about nucleotides, nucleic acids, monosaccharides, polysaccharides, okay, that are together known as what? Carbohydrates. And then we have also studied about lipids. Okay, I have also explained you about the primary and secondary metabolites. So all this biomolecules that you have studied, okay, will be present in any living organism. It can be a simple bacterial cell or a protozoa or any plant cell or animal cell, whichever living cell if you take, all these compounds will be there. Okay, and their concentration is also same. Okay, these compounds will be present in certain concentration. Means if it is more, then it is problem for the living organism, and if it is less, then also it is problem for the living cell or the living organism. Okay, so all this will be in a controlled concentration. Understood? Then another feature of this biomolecule is they have a turnover. Turnover means they are constantly being changed into some or the other molecules. Okay, they means these molecules are not having a constant existence. For example, if lipids will get converted into some other molecules, and from some other molecules lipids are formed. Understood? So continuously there is a turnover, or there is a constant change happens in this molecules. Okay, so this breaking and making through chemical reactions constantly occurring in living organisms are called what? Metabolism. So what do you mean by metabolism? Metabolism is the whole chemical reactions. Living cell is not a idle condition, or it is not having a constant or rest condition. It is continuously means in cells the things metabolites, okay, various substances are getting synthesized, they are hydrolyzed. Like this, lot of chemical reactions are taking place. All these chemical reactions together we call it as what? Metabolism. Understood? So this metabolism results in what? In the changes or transformation of biomolecules. Okay, so for example, removal of carbon dioxide from amino acid will result in the formation of an amine. Then removal of amino group from the nucleotide base, hydrolysis of glycosidic bond in a disaccharide, all this, okay, this kind of reactions or combination of carbon dioxide and water in plant cells, isn't it, will result in what? The formation of starch. This kind of chemical reactions continuously takes place in the cells. Okay, so these are not occurring in isolation, and sometimes they can also linked with some other reactions. Okay, so you can see that there are various metabolic pathways. Metabolic pathways means this metabolites are converted into each other in a series of linked reactions. Okay, a number of linked reactions are there whereby this metabolites are converted into each other, and these series is known as what? Metabolic pathways. Okay, so in this way you can see that a number of reactions are taking place, and these reactions, one more important characteristic feature is they all are catalyzed reactions. Understood? Catalyzed reaction means what? There are catalysts which help in the conversions. Okay, so in living organism there is no uncatalyzed metabolic conversions. Always all the metabolic reactions are what? Catalyzed ones. Means what? They are catalyzed by certain catalyst called biological catalyst or enzymes. Understood? So there are enzymes which are already I have told already many of the enzymes are proteins, isn't it? So chemically if you analyze, each enzymes are proteins, and these proteins what they control the rate of this reactions and they catalyze the reactions. Okay, so metabolism, you understood now. Metabolic activity means all the chemical reactions that is taking place in the living organism is called what? The metabolism. Understood? So the various metabolic pathways can lead to formation of more complex structure from a simple structure, or what it can lead to the formation of simple structures from complex structure. Okay, so if complex structures are formed from simple molecules or simple structures by a metabolic pathway, that pathway is known as anabolic pathway. So what do you mean by anabolic pathway? If a metabolic pathway results in the formation of complex structure or complex molecules from simpler structure, then it is known as what? Anabolic pathway. Okay, and if the metabolic pathway results in the degradation of large molecules or complex molecules into or complex structures into simpler structures, then it is known as catabolic pathway. Okay, for example, acetic acid, it's a simple structure. If it becomes cholesterol by any biological pathway or biochemical pathway or metabolic pathway, it is known as what? It's an example for anabolic pathway. Smaller structures are combined to form what? Larger structures, isn't it? So it's a anabolic pathway. And see, in our muscles, we have already studied that glucose will get oxidized to what? Or glucose will get converted to lactic acid, or glucose is converted to carbon dioxide and water, isn't it? So all these are examples for catabolic pathway. Catabolic pathway means what? Here the complex structures are getting converted into smaller molecules or smaller structures, isn't it? So this is called what? Catabolic pathway. So anabolic pathway needs energy, isn't it? If simpler molecules has to join and form larger molecules, there should be the formation of various bonds, bonds, isn't it? So it needs what? Energy. And on the other hand, catabolic pathways, they release energy, isn't it? We have you have heard about glycolysis. What is glycolysis? Where glucose is converted to pyruvic acid, isn't it? And this glycolysis, okay, it needs what? It releases energy. Understood? It releases energy. So as they release energy during the degradation of larger molecules, okay, the energy stored in the chemical bonds that will be released, okay, and this energy will be used for the synthesis of what? The ATPs, okay, the most important form of energy currency, that is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, understood? So for this energy which is needed, okay, by us is provided by the bonds that is present in larger structures, okay, and when they get broken, okay, they release energy, and the energy either we can use for what? Our purpose, or it can be used in the form of for the synthesis of what? ATPs, adenosine triphosphate. Is it clear? So is it clear? That is the metabolic the pathways, okay, that includes both anabolic and catabolic pathway, isn't it? Anabolic means what? Here the smaller molecules, they combine together to form the larger structures, and in catabolic pathways what happen? Larger structures, they get degraded into smaller structures. Okay, so anabolic pathway, they needs what? Energy. Understood? And catabolic pathways, they release energy. Okay, and when they release energy, this energy is utilized for synthesizing currency, energy currency known as ATP. Okay, so this much is clear now. So in living organism, when you see, you can see that the amount of these molecules will be always made constant. Understood? Even though all these reactions are taking place, okay, continuously, no molecules will be allowed to increase. Okay, they are specific concentration. Okay, if it is increased, then it will be diseased condition. That living organism will feel abnormalities, isn't it? So, for example, the amount of glucose, okay, in a healthy individual, okay, you can see that it is maintained as constant. Okay, and hormones level will be very small. Okay, that will be present only in nanograms per ml. So all these are controlled well by the living systems. Biological systems will control all this, and they exist in a steady state characterized by concentration of each of these biomolecules. Okay, so any chemical or physical processes move spontaneously to equilibrium, isn't it, that you have studied? But the steady state is a non-equilibrium state, and in equilibrium, okay, no system can perform work, isn't it? So as living organisms work continuously, they cannot afford to reach equilibrium. Understood? So the living system or living state is a non-equilibrium steady state to be able to perform work. Okay, so living state means it's a non-equilibrium. Okay, non-equilibrium steady state. Okay, then only the living organism can perform work. Okay, living process means it's a effort to prevent falling into equilibrium. If an organism means chemical reactions reaches to equilibrium, means what? The living organisms cannot survive now. Okay, so living process means what? It is an effort to prevent falling into equilibrium. Understood? Because why? At equilibrium, what? At equilibrium, no system can perform work. So living system is trying to prevent the process of falling into equilibrium. Okay, so for this, energy input is given. Metabolism provides a mechanism for the production of energy. Okay, and so you can see that living system and metabolism, they are same only, means they are similar terms only. Okay, because living system means what? There will be lot of chemical reactions. Okay, for what? Maintaining the system in non-equilibrium. Understood? So this, in this way, living state and metabolism means they go together. They are very similar words. Okay, they means both are same only. If one organism to be in the living system, there should be what? Metabolism. Okay, and without metabolism, there is no state of living. State of living cannot be achieved without any metabolism. So understood now the importance of metabolism, and all molecules that we have studied. Okay, they are all present in the living system in different concentration, and this concentration or this steady state is achieved by the what? Continuous metabolism that is taking place in our body. I told all the metabolic reactions, okay, which is taking place in the body of a living organisms are catalyzed reactions. Means what? There are biological catalysts called enzymes to catalyze their reactions. Okay, so these biological catalysts are called what? Enzymes. So we are going to study in detail about the enzymes now. Okay, so enzymes are what? Proteins. Almost all enzymes are proteins itself. Okay, and there are certain enzymes which are means their structure is, or they are chemically nucleic acids. For example, ribosines is an example of an enzyme which is made up of nucleic acid. Okay, so enzymes are, most of the enzymes I told it, they are proteins. So they are having primary structure. Do you remember? That explains what the sequence of amino acids. That explains the sequence of amino acid. Okay, then they are having secondary structure, tertiary structure, etc. So when you see the tertiary structure, okay, you can see that the polypeptide chain, okay, they falls on its own axis, okay, and form certain means simply they are three-dimensionally, they are folded, and in their this three-dimensional the structure, you can see that certain crevices or certain pockets. Okay, so that kind of pockets act as the active site. So what do you mean by active site? Active site is the crevice or pocket into which the substrate fits. What is the function of enzymes? They catalyze the reactions, isn't it? But especially in biology, if we say metabolic reactions are catalyzed by enzymes, and these enzymes, when you analyze, they are having certain pockets or certain crevices into which the substrate fits. That crevices are known as active sites. Okay, and this active sites into this the substrate binds, and then the reaction will take place. So you can see that the difference, there are a lot of differences between chemical catalyst and enzymes. You would have studied about chemical catalyst in your chemistry classes, isn't it? So when you see differences, the major difference between the inorganic catalyst and this one, the biological catalyst, that is the enzymes, is their difference. Inorganic catalyst, okay, they can work even in high temperature, okay, and high pressures, but enzymes, they will get easily damaged at high temperature. Okay, for example, above 40 degrees centigrade, the enzymes may not be able to work properly because they get denatured. Okay, their property will be lost. Understood? So this is the reason when if your temperature is becoming high, okay, what will happen? You will suddenly take any antipyretics, isn't it? Like paracetamol and all. Why? You want to reduce your temperature. Otherwise, what will happen? If the temperature is allowed to rise high, that can lead to your death also. Why? Because many enzymes cannot function in high temperature. If you get temperature, what you will do? You will try to reduce the temperature by adding by taking medicines, or by putting cloth and all after wetting it, etc. You are trying to reduce your temperature. Understood? Because enzymes will get easily denatured, and if enzymes are not there, what will happen? The chemical reaction, including respiration, cannot take place, and this will result in the means it will be harmful to you. Understood? But there are enzymes which are present in organisms who lives at high temperature. These enzymes and these organisms are adapted to live in such conditions. Okay, so have you heard about organisms which are living in hot vents, then sulfur springs, etc. They are stable and they can retain their catalytic power even at high temperature. Okay, so thermal stability is thus an important quality of enzymes. Okay, that are obtained from that kind of organisms which are able to live in hot vents and sulfur springs. Okay, so enzymes will get easily denatured. Okay, it at high temperature, or in the presence of acids, etc., or different pH. Okay, so this is the difference between what enzymes and the normal chemical catalyst. Okay, biological catalyst or enzymes cannot survive at high temperature normally. Okay, but there are examples where the living organisms live in such conditions, their enzymes can survive. Is it clear? So about this topic, it's clear what we have studied today. that is, we have studied about the dynamic state of body constituents, concept of metabolism, okay, turnover. Then what we have also studied about the different types of metabolism that is existing in the human being, means in the living organism, like what catabolism and anabolism, okay. And I have told you living state is a non-equilibrium steady state, and living process is a constant effort to prevent falling into equilibrium, okay. Living organisms are trying to prevent the process of falling into equilibrium, means to maintain a non-equilibrium state, okay. And then I have given introduction to the enzymes. So we will study more about this in the next class. Thank you.